I
Appreciate that, sir.
I think you dropped some bombs in here, but I cannot let you get out of here without talking a little bit about jiu-jitsu. Um, as you can see, he'll never tell you this, and most black belts won't, but he has a black belt in BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How does that correlate to your business game? Like you said with the A Game podcast, all these guys are, trying to elevate, trying to crush it. How do you put the two worlds together, jiu-jitsu community versus entrepreneurship?
Man, I mean, we could do 4 hours just on that, but, some of the things that I look at here, well, I'd say like, if I had to put into 3 things, the sense of community, the ability to problem solve and stay calm under high pressure situations, and, um, I'd say just persistence is those kind of things. So, first off, like, if I look at some of the things that I've gone through, like, same type of stuff with real estate. I remember when I went to go do the Golden Gloves with one hand, and it was something I've always wanted to do my whole life. I was like, man, I want to fight in the Golden Gloves. I want to fight New York State Golden Gloves. And they were going to top it out at like age 35 or whatever it was. So it was literally the last year I could ever do it. And I was like, I have to do it this year because if I don't do it this year, I never can. And literally at that time, the guy who was my boxing coach was like, "Don't do it. You're gonna get your ass kicked. You're gonna like your friends are. You're gonna be embarrassed." He started calling my friends and telling them, "Tell this guy not to do it. Tell him to quit. It's not gonna be good for him." And I was like, "Well, thanks, man." And but like, I used that same principle of regret and fear that I used when I got hurt in that hospital. Of like, I can never let the fear of failing ever keep me from trying anything amazing in life ever again. And as much as maybe going in, even if I got knocked out in 13 seconds, or even if I fought the whole fight, but I just got like my ass beat, like totally dismantled, didn't even put up a fight. Everybody laughed at me. As bad as that beating would have been for that 15 minutes, it wouldn't have felt as bad as living the rest of my life wondering, like, what could I have done? And living with the fact that I let the inner bitch in me get the best of me. And like, that was really my thing is like, I'm not fighting another guy here. I'm fighting myself. And if I can push myself every day and get up and fight through not wanting to run, wanting to not eat the pizza, like all those things, that's going to make me a better person. That's going to make me a stronger person. And that's the same discipline it takes whether you're getting ready for a fight or you're trying to build a business. It's like getting punched, having people tell you you're crazy, having people tell you you're nuts, doing the shit when you don't want to do the shit because you know you have a goal and you have to answer to yourself at the end of the day. That's a huge thing I got from martial arts, from boxing, from fighting, from jujitsu. The other thing is when you're in a bad spot and all you want to do is tap out because Ali Quinta has you in a choke or Matt Serra is on top of you and you literally can't even breathe and you're looking at that clock going, man, it'd be really easy right now to tap out and go home and just play with my dog. You go, yeah, but how's this guy going to look at me? How are people going to look at me? How am I going to look at myself? Because I know that as good as it might feel to get this guy the hell off of me right now, I'm going to have to live with the fact that I gave up. So instead of that, why don't I figure out how to take a breath and instead of panicking and freaking out, figure a way to get out of this situation. And I need to stay calm and I need to look for solutions because if I can stay calm and find solutions, I can find a way to get on top. I can find a way out. I don't have to win right now. I just have to get out of the situation and then I can keep fighting and find out how to win. And that has translated into business like nothing else because as you know, in business, you get your ass kicked, you're in bad positions, deals fall apart, people freak out, lawsuits, partners, all these things. And it makes you want to tap out almost every single day. But when you go, you know what? I've been here before. I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning and I was already in this spot 15 times. I know how to stay calm. I know how to find a way out. I know I can find a way to win. That's what's going to keep you fighting another day. And that's where 5, 10, 15 years from now, you wind up from just getting your ass kicked every day to looking back and you get your black belt in business.
My man, that is awesome right there. Well, real quick, did you do the Golden Gloves?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you finish? How'd you do?
So I thought I won. A lot of people thought I won the fight. I lost the decision, but it was funny because I remember that day, like, and it was like I didn't want to even tell my friends. For 3 months, all I did was train. I hit the bags every day. Like it was run so bad. Like they didn't even tell you when you were gonna fight, and then you show up that day and they do like the eyeball test, like, oh, you'll fight him, you'll fight him, and there was guys, and they made me fight in the advanced division because I had prior MMA experience, which is like you're fighting guys that are going to get called any day to go fight in the Olympics or go pro. Like I had no business fighting in that division, but I had to anyway. So it was like, all right, well, whatever. So I went in that day and I remember I fought the first round, did really well. And my trainer comes out to me in between rounds. He goes, hey man, I think you're winning the fight. And I was like, okay. He goes, do you want to win? I was like, Yeah, man, that's like that's kind of why I came here. But like he was shocked at how good I was doing because he was literally on the way up, was like, dude, just when this gets ugly, I'm gonna throw in the towel. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Like I'm walking to the ring, like pretend I have a shot. But it almost became of that like sometimes you do things to prove people right, but sometimes you do things to prove people wrong. So there
Right.
was a bunch of people like Ray Longo that were like, look, man, I think you're gonna do great. And I was like, I want to make my training partners proud. Aljo Sterling, UFC champion, was one of my main sparring partners for the Golden Gloves. And then it was like, I want to win just to prove this guy wrong. So I did really great. Everybody thought I won. They gave the decision to the other guy. Whatever it happens, it happens. But I remember that day, I walked my trainer out to the car, and I was there with my girlfriend at the time, and he turned around and he was like, "Man, I am so sorry that I handled that the way I did." And he's such a good guy. Like he didn't mean it. I knew what he was trying to do. He goes, "Man, I was just trying to protect you." He's like, I wasn't trying to bum you out, but I really didn't expect you to do what you did." And what he said to me, I will never forget. And this is such a good ending for like business stuff. But he goes, "Look, man, every boxer in that room tonight was better than you." And I was like, "Thanks." He goes, "But here's the deal." He goes, "Sometimes will beats skill. And you showed that you wanted it more tonight. And regardless of how good they were, they didn't want it as bad as you. And that's why you came out on top and you did exactly how well you did." And so I think of that in business. Like there's people right now that might have money, they might have credit, they might have everything going on their side to be successful in business, but they're complacent or they're lazy or they have an ego or they don't want it that bad. And then you get somebody who's scrappy, that's an up and comer, that they're willing to get dirty and they're willing to do whatever it takes. They're going to beat your ass. So you
Yeah.
better make sure you wake up every day and you just get humbled and you go after it. And it's what I've learned from being black belt. Some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. Just come back and keep going.
Wow. My man, that's perfect way to end it. You I appreciate you coming on here. We could have talked jitsu for, like you said, for 4 hours.
Yeah.
I chose to make this more about real estate investing, but again, you blew me away, and I super appreciate you coming on here and taking the time to educate people. And I mean, you're hard to kill in business, and you're hard to kill on the mats, boxing, any kind of combat sport. So I appreciate you coming on here, my man. It's I'm truly honored. This is awesome.
Dude, I appreciate you having me. It's really fun for me to talk. Started losing my voice a little bit during it, man. But anytime you want to do this, man, I'm down to talk real estate, jiu-jitsu, MMA, any day of the week with you, sir. It's always a pleasure.
All right, and I will leave a link in here, but anybody wants to find you, just go to his Instagram too, right? You have what's your
Yep.
Instagram?
At Nick Lamagna Invest.
All right, perfect. Well, again, I appreciate it. Go rest your voice, and I really super appreciate it. Stay safe, stay savage, and stay hard to kill, brother.